The dining room was cozy, filled with the warm glow of a single overhead light that reflected off the polished wooden table. The hum of the refrigerator in the adjacent kitchen was the only sound, interrupted occasionally by the clinking of silverware as Leo's mom set the table. The room smelled of roasted garlic and olive oil, a scent Leo would have enjoyed if it weren't for the carrots. TJ slumped in his chair, his elbows resting on the table, twirling a fork in his hand. His curly black afro caught the light, a soft halo framing his skeptical face. He eyed the small bowl in front of him with suspicion, like it might leap out and bite him. His mom, a tall woman with a kind smile and a determined glint in her eye, placed a hand on her hip.
TJ,
She said, her voice patient but firm.
just one bite. Carrots are great for your gut.
TJ wrinkled his nose and leaned back dramatically, crossing his arms.
What's a gut, and why does it care about carrots?
His mom chuckled softly, sitting down across from him.
Your gut is where all the action happens. It's like a little world inside your belly, full of...
Before she could finish, TJ pushed the bowl away, the soft scrape of ceramic on wood cutting her off.
No thanks. My gut doesn't need help. It's doing just fine.
His mom sighed, leaning forward and resting her chin on her hand.
If you only knew, TJ.
She murmured. But TJ wasn't listening. He was too busy plotting his next excuse when, deep in his belly, something began to stir. The strange awakening. That night, as TJ lay in bed, he felt a strange gurgling in his stomach. He figured it was just too much mac and cheese from dinner, but then the strangest thing happened. His bed started to tilt. No, not tilt. Slide. Before he knew it, TJ was tumbling down what felt like a glowing orange tunnel.
What is happening?
He screamed. When he landed, it wasn't in his room. He was in a glowing, pulsating world of twisting paths and swirling streams. The air smelled different, kind of like his mom's green smoothies, but mixed with popcorn.
Where am I?
He whispered, looking around. A bubbly voice piped up behind him.
Welcome to the Guttaverse.
TJ spun around to see a small, squishy creature with a blue jelly-like body and enormous eyes. It was barely as tall as his hand and bounced as it talked.
I'm BB.
It said,
I'm one of the good bugs in your gut, your microbiome. We're kind of like your tummy's heroes.
TJ blinked.
I have heroes. In my tummy? Like actual bugs?
BB wiggled proudly.
Not the gross kind, we're probiotics. We help keep your body healthy and happy, but right now we have a big problem.
Before Leo could ask what kind of problem, the ground rumbled. A shadow loomed over them as slimy, dark creatures crawled out of the glowing walls.
The bad bugs!
BB shouted.
They've taken over parts of the Guttaverse and they're making you feel not great. If we don't stop them, things could get a lot worse.
TJ stared at the slimy invaders.
This is because I don't eat carrots, isn't it?
BB gave a nervous laugh.
Well, yeah, your gut needs fiber like the kind in veggies to keep us strong and fight off the bad bugs. Without it, they get stronger. We need your help to save the Guttaverse.
TJ crossed his arms.
Why should I help? This isn't my problem.
BB frowned.
Actually, it is your problem. Have you been feeling tired lately? A little grumpy? Maybe your tummy doesn't feel so great after eating?
TJ hesitated. He had been feeling off lately.
Okay, fine. What do I do?
BB grinned and handed him a glowing orange sword. It was small but pulsed with light.
This is the carrot saber. It's powered by fiber, so the more good food you eat, the stronger it gets.
TJ rolled his eyes.
This is about eating carrots again, isn't it?
BB nodded eagerly.
Carrots, apples, broccoli, whole grains, they're all full of fiber. But let's start with carrots. You'll need them to power the saber and defeat the bad bugs.
TJ sighed.
All right, I'll eat one, but just one.
BB handed him a tiny carrot. TJ bit into it reluctantly. As he chewed, the saber glowed brighter, and he felt a strange burst of energy.
Whoa!
He said.
That's kind of cool.
BB nodded.
Ready to save the Guttaverse?
The sugar swamp.
BB led Leo to their first challenge, the sugar swamp. It stretched endlessly in front of them with bubbling pools of sticky syrup and towering candy canes lining the path.
This is where the bad bugs thrive.
BB explained.
They love sugar. It gives them energy to spread and cause trouble. We need to get through without getting stuck.
TJ stared at the swamp.
How? That stuff looks like quicksand.
BB handed him a map.
We'll use the stepping stones made of whole grain crackers. They're solid and full of fiber, so the swamp can't swallow them.
They hopped from cracker to cracker, but halfway through, a swarm of bad bugs appeared, hissing and spitting sticky gobs of sugar.
Quick!
BB shouted.
Use the saber.
TJ swung the carrot saber, its glowing blade cutting through the sugar webs. The bad bugs retreated, and the swamp began to shrink.
Nice job.
BB cheered.
The saber's getting stronger.
The grease maze. Next, they reached the grease maze, a twisting labyrinth of slippery, oily walls made of dripping French fries and greasy chips. TJ wrinkled his nose.
This place smells terrible.
BB nodded.
Too much grease slows everything down in the Guttaverse. We need to clean it up to find our way through.
TJ noticed a series of levers along the walls, each labeled with a veggie.
What happens if I pull these?
BB grinned.
Try it.
He pulled the lever labeled spinach, and a flood of leafy green swept through the maze, soaking up the grease and revealing a clear path.
Veggies to the rescue.
TJ said, starting to enjoy the adventure. He gave BB a grin as they hurried through the newly cleared path, the glowing carrot saber clutched tightly in his hand. The air in the bad bug's lair was heavy and thick, a stench of spoiled candy and old grease filling TJ's nose. He tried not to gag as he stepped cautiously onto the sticky floor, his sneakers making a soft squelch with every step. All around him were mountains of crumpled candy wrappers, oozing puddles of sugary sludge, and discarded soda cans that hissed with every movement. BB hovered beside him, her glow dimmed by the oppressive gloom.
Stay sharp, TJ. The bad bug boss is here, and it won't go down without a fight.
TJ nodded, gripping the carrot saber tightly. His heart pounded as he scanned the room, the shadows twisting and shifting as though alive. Then, from the depths of the lair, a low growl rumbled, sending a shiver up his spine. A massive, slimy blob began to rise from the shadows, its dark, oozing body towering over TJ. Its glowing red eyes locked onto him with a sinister glare, and a deep voice rumbled,
"So you think a kid with a glowing carrot can defeat me?"
TJ swallowed hard, but squared his shoulders.
I don't just have a glowing carrot.
He said, his voice steady, despite the quiver in his knees.
I have fiber on my side, and I'm not afraid of you.
The bad bug boss laughed, a horrible echoing sound.
"Fiber? That's cute. Let's see how far it gets you."
With a roar, the boss lunged forward, its slimy arm swiping at TJ. He leapt out of the way just in time, the sticky ground threatening to trap his feet with every step. He swung the carrot saber, its orange light slicing through the air. But the boss deflected the attack with a wall of sugary sludge. BB zipped around frantically.
TJ, you need more power. The saber's strong, but it can't do this alone.
TJ ducked another attack, his mind racing.
More power? How do I... Oh, right, fiber.
He closed his eyes, and thought about the foods he'd seen along the way. Crunchy carrots, leafy spinach, hearty whole-grain bread. He imagined himself eating them, their energy filling him up. As he focused, glowing images of the foods began to materialize around him, swirling in a bright, colorful vortex. The carrot saber pulsed with light, its glow intensifying until it lit up the entire lair. TJ gripped it tightly, his confidence growing with each second.
Let's finish this.
The boss roared again, its slimy body quivering as it prepared to strike. But this time, TJ didn't back down. With a battle cry, he charged forward, swinging the saber with all his might. The glowing blade sliced through the boss's sludge, sending waves of light rippling through the lair. Each swing seemed to weaken the boss, its roars growing fainter. Finally, TJ raised the saber high above his head. The glowing veggies swirled around him, their light merging with the saber to create a beam so bright it made the bad bug boss recoil in fear.
This is for my gut.
TJ shouted, bringing the saber down in one final powerful strike. The beam of light engulfed the boss, who let out a final echoing wail before dissolving into harmless sparkles. The lair transformed instantly, the sticky floor turning solid and clean, the air fresh and light. The piles of junk food vanished, replaced by vibrant colors and glowing streams that pulsed with life. BB hovered up to TJ, his glow restored and brighter than ever.
You did it, TJ. The Guttaverse is safe thanks to you.
TJ looked around, a proud smile spreading across his face.
Yeah,
He said, breathing heavily.
I guess veggies aren't so bad after all.
When TJ woke up the next morning, sunlight streamed through his bedroom window, and he felt different, lighter, stronger, and full of energy. At breakfast, he didn't hesitate when his mom placed a plate of scrambled eggs and roasted carrots in front of him. He picked up a fork, speared a carrot chunk, and popped it into his mouth.
Not bad.
He said with a grin. His mom stared at him in shock.
Did you just eat a carrot?
TJ shrugged.
Let's just say I had an adventure that changed my mind. Oh, and Mom,
Yes, TJ?
can we have broccoli for dinner?
The takeaway. And just like that, TJ learned that veggies weren't just weird things on his plate. They were his secret weapons for staying strong and healthy. The foods we eat don't just taste good. They help power the heroes inside us, like the good bugs in our gut. So next time you sit down to eat, think about what you're feeding your tiny heroes. What adventure will you power up for today? The end.